make a long story kind of short. On the side, I actually work for Uber and Lyft, and I thought it was going to be kind of like a short thing, but it's turning out to be something I actually really enjoy because somehow, some way, I end up meeting somebody who has a lot of trouble with their faith. And I don't even bring up the situation because it's not really professional to do, but somehow, some way, the conversation in the car always ends up being that. And I've actually converted quite a few people. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
That's great. It's nuts. A lot of troublesome and conflict I feel in a lot of these people. But essentially, I go to a lot of the West Hollywood area to drive there, and that's a lot of where the tension really is that area. And I get questioned a lot, and sometimes, I guess, being on the front line, they ask me and they question me about what I believe in my faith, and I know that one comment is enough to get me fired. One comment. That all they have to do is go to HR and that's it, I'm done. But I wonder, what boundary should I put in place doing this, kind of professionally, but also trying my best to help them out? Because it's also putting, I'm not supposed to even do that, but I do it anyway.
I mean, are they asking you questions?
Yep. Well, at first they don't. They kind of just, somehow, I don't know why or how it ends up being about faith, but it ends up being about it. And they ask me too. And so far it's been nothing but good feedback, but it does make me nervous because I know that at any time, they could easily fire me without reason, and I will have no defense. So I guess, where should I draw the line, or if I even should at all?
I don't think you should. I mean, I don't know why you would. Maybe that conversation starter you have in the back of the seat that says, ask me a question about Jesus, you should probably take that down. But aside from that, or put it up, one or the other. But the point is, I think that you have to make a decision. Look, I mean, your jobs, are you guys wouldn't be fired for this, for Christianity, for Jesus? Would you say to yourself at the end of the day, you're not going to be, years from now, you will not be praying to your boss at Uber. You'll be praying to God. So one of these two bosses transcends the other.
And I would just go with what I said to that young man earlier. I'd trust the Lord. I'd give the Lord your day and say, Lord, give me my rides, and Lord, you cause them to strike up the conversation. If you go before me. You rose from the dead. You went before the disciples into Galilee. You've risen from the dead. You can go before every rider I pick up today. And Lord, I give the conversations to you. If it comes up, I'll go for it.
You know what I wonder? I wonder if there might be a way. I remember when Bob Vernon, who was the assistant deputy of LAPD, chief of police, and he came out afterwards and he started a leadership training program where he would go all over the world teaching leadership principles to law enforcement. And he would have them in for a 3-day leadership deal. And at the end of that, he would say, now listen, I've taught you your department, you've fulfilled your obligation, you do not have to take any, we're done. I want all of you to leave. Those of you who want to know, though, where these leadership principles come from can come back in the room. But it's not part of your training. It's not sanctioned by your department, not sanctioned by your country. This is just if you want to know where this stuff comes from. And sure enough, he says about 80% of those officers would want to know where these principles came from. And then he would preach the gospel.
That's right.
And it was amazing, right? And so I wonder if there isn't a way in which you could say, you can start a conversation and keep it within certain boundaries and say, but when we get to the destination, if you got 5 minutes, that's something else I want to talk to you about. And you can hop out of the car and share Christ with people. I wonder if there's I don't even know if that's possible, but the idea would be that you do what your job tells you ought to do, but you provide an open door for those next 5 minutes before you leave to share where those principles come from. Maybe you could just talk about biblical principles, and then at the end of the ride say, hey, if you want to know where those come from, give me a second, I'll hop out of the car and I'll tell you.
I had an employer tell me one time, because he saw people come into me, and he said, Jack, you can say anything you want as long as it's not on company time. And I think he saw the look in my face. I was 21 years old, I'll never forget it. I looked terrified. And he said, that means on break and lunch and after work. It's your time. And that was an amazing way of him saying,
give you permission.
Go for it on break and at lunch and after work. But during the time you're being paid to work, you work. And I thought, that is awesome.